today. Got some news to bring you. Man, you cannot trust some of these Republicans. Don't know if you've heard about it, but Ancestral brought this to my attention. Going over to Breitbart, GOP Democrats slip amnesty for 1,000 liberal nationals, or correction, Liberian nationals, into defense budget. Senate Republicans and Democrats approved the defense budget for fiscal year 2020 after slipping into it an amnesty for nearly 1,000 Liberian nationals who will now be eligible for American citizenship. This week, the Senate passed the 2020 National Defense Authorization Act that includes a provision that gives amnesty to about 840 Liberian nationals and their children who would otherwise have self-deported from the United States in March. In early 2018, President Trump ended Deferred Enforcement Departure, the DED, for Liberia, which acted as a de facto amnesty for Liberians to stay in the U.S. since 1991. Liberians were given the temporary amnesty in the early 1990s due to a civil war in their nation. After decades of renewing the temporary amnesty by President Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, despite the nation's civil war long having ended, Trump reviewed their DED status and determined that Liberia is safe for nationals in the U.S. to return to. The amnesty for Liberian nationals slipped into the defense budget had been pushed for months by Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat, Minnesota, and a handful of Minnesota lawmakers. Effectively, all Liberian nationals who were allowed to stay in the U.S. over the last few decades will now be allowed to adjust their immigration status, making them permanent residents. Liberian nationals will only be disqualified from the amnesty if they have been convicted of aggravated felonies such as murder, rape, child sex abuse, sex trafficking, and kidnapping. Also included in the defense budget is billions of American taxpayer money that will continue funding border security measures in foreign countries like Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, Tunisia. Meanwhile, less than $1.4 billion is explicitly authorized for the construction of a border wall at the U.S.-Mexico border. That's under the defense budget. No bullshit. See, there is a conspiracy going on by these rhinos within and undermining, undercutting the president again. Man, this is so aggravating. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, the great state of Tennessee, who sent Davy Crockett, well, didn't send Davy Crockett down to the Alamo, but Davy Crockett from Tennessee down to the Alamo to fight for Texas independence. Get ready for this, Tennessee. Republican Governor Bill Lee approves more. Are you ready for this? More refugee settlement in Tennessee. And I would argue, what is a refugee anymore? For fiscal year 2020, President Donald Trump will continue cutting refugee admissions by reducing former President Barack Obama's refugee inflow by at least 80%. This reduction would mean a maximum of 18,000 refugees can be resettled in the U.S. between October 1st, 2019 and September 30th, 2020. Coupled with the refugee reduction, Trump signed an executive order that gives localities, countries, and counties and states veto power over whether they want to resettle refugees in their community, and the great state of Tennessee and their Republican governor want more. Well, Tennesseans, what do you have to say about that? Anyway, the point being is all this time that we've been dealing with the Democratic communists and this big impeachment farce, what have Rhino Republicans been doing? Oh yeah, what a conspiracy on immigration, wouldn't you say? Man, totally unbelievable. Just totally unbelievable. Anyway, that's going to do it for this portion of the Homegrown Report. Scout out. Take care. Don't let your guard down, and God bless.